Hi, guys. This is Mrs. Cup, and I thought that I would just create this quick video for you to help you um, just do a quick review on how to find the greatest common factor of two numbers. This is going to be really important in Chapter 4 because Chapter 4 is all about multiplying and dividing fractions, and we need to know how to simplify them afterwards, and so we need to find greatest common factors. So if you already know how to do that, I want you to do it the way that you're good at. But if you don't know, you're like, I kind of remember that, but I don't, or I have no idea what she's talking about. I want you to try it using my method. So what we do is we take the numbers we're trying to find the greatest common factor of. And in this case, it's 15 and 5. And we write them right beside each other. 15 and 5. And then we draw, and just like we would for partial quotients, if you remember dividing numbers and you just kept dividing out um, numbers, and then at the end you had this big long list, that's what we're kind of doing. So I want to know what number is in a 15 and 5. Well, since they both have 5, that means 5 has to go into them. So I'm going to put a 5 out here on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to divide. So 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. Then I'm going to ask myself, what number goes into 3 and 1? Well, the only number that can go into those evenly is 1. So 1, you're done. So as soon as you get the number 1, you're done. So you're going to take all the numbers that are on the left side of that vertical line, which happen to just be 5, and you're going to multiply them together, and that's your greatest common factor. So 5 is the largest number that you can divide both 15 and 5 by. That's your greatest factor, sometimes called GCF. Okay, let's look at the next pair here. We have 44 and 2. So we're going to find the largest number that goes into 44 and 22. Well, they're both even, so I'm going to just start at 2. You can start at any number. If you know of another number that goes in, you can do that. There's more than one. So 44 divided by 2 is 22. That's half of 44. And 22 divided by 2 is 11. You divide something by 2, you divide it in half. And then now I look 22 and 11. When you have double digits like this, you should know that, hey, that is divisible by 11. So 22 divided by 11 is 2, and 11 divided by 11 is 1. So 2 went in, so I put it out here on the left side. 11 went in, I put it out here on the left side. So 2 and 1, the only number that goes into 2 and 1 is 1, so you're done. So now you're going to take the number on the left of the vertical line, and you're going to multiply them together. So I'm going to have 2 times 11, and that equals 22. So this time, 22 is the greatest common factor. Now, I know you're saying, well, it's just the smaller of the two. Not always. Don't get too excited about that. That just happens to be the way that it is now, but it's not always true. Okay? All right, so now let's look at the next one here. Let me erase. I forgot I have to erase all of these. So I have 35 and 20. So again, I'm going to write 35 and 20 right beside each other. Let me erase all the stuff from the last one. All right, so I have 35 and 20. So what number goes into 35 and 20? Well, they're ending a 5 and a 0, so that means 5 does. So 5 goes into 35 7 times, and 5 goes into 24 times. 20 divided by 5 is 4. And then what goes into 7 and 4? Just 1. So 1 and you're done. So that means the only number is that goes with both of them is 5, so that's your greatest common factor. So if you notice, 5 is not even one of the choices when it comes to my numbers, so don't think that, oh, in the last two, it was the smallest number, so it's always the smallest number. Okay, that just was sometimes things like that happen in math, but it doesn't happen all the time, so you can't count on that as a true method or trick if you're looking for a shortcut. Okay, so let's try another one here. We have 12 and 27. So what number goes into 12 and 27? Well, they're both divisible by 3. So 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 3 goes into 27 9 times. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 12 divided by 3 is 4. What number goes into 4 and 9? Well, 4 has 1, 2, and 4. 9 has 1, 3, and 9. None of them are in common except for 1, so I'm done. And therefore, my answer is 3. And again, not even one of the choices here. Okay, now for the next ones, the next problems, what I want you to do is I want you to first copy down the problem and then in your notebook, and then I want you to try it. And then I want you to pause the video, try it, and then play the video, and I will give you the answer and see if it's correct. Okay? So here, your choices are 12 and 44, and then 7 and 35. So I want you to copy those both down, then pause the video, find the greatest common factor on your own, and then come back and see if you got it right by watching the rest of the video. Okay, so if you follow directions, you did this yourself first, and you should have 12 and 44. And the greatest number that I can think of that goes into 12 and 44 right now is 2, because they're both even. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 44 divided by 2 is 22. Now I look at 6 and 22. They're both even, so I'm going to do another 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 22 divided by 5 is 11. There's nothing that goes into 3 and 11 except 1, so I'm done. So I'm going to multiply the 2 and 2 together, and I get 4. So if you got 4 as an answer, give yourself a pat on the back. All right, next, and 35. What number goes into 7 and 35? Well, that would be 7. So 7 goes into 7 one time, and 7 goes into 35 5 times. I think my thing is slowed down here. And now I have 1 and 5. What goes into 1 and 5? Just 1, so I'm done. So therefore, my greatest common factor is 7. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go back to Schoology, and there's a Go formative that is just like this, and I want you to practice finding the GCF. If you have any questions, I will answer them when you get back to school. Have a good day.